confirmed that a quorum is present. So I'd like a motion to start the meeting.
Second, whatever.
You were perfect. All those in favor? Aye. And then we'll do a roll call of voting members. Damon Jesperson present.
Susan Burrow, present.
Janine Cunningham, present.
John Ferraro, present.
Geraldine Guerrero, present.
Excellent. And I think we have a few other people here, so if you guys could introduce yourselves, that would be great.
Joe Kennedy, Byfield.
I'm Dan Kelly, I'm from Ipswich. I'm here, as I said to everyone, I'm running for state rep in November, and I've been meeting with the councils on aging, and I'm very excited about joining your group, learning what you do, and I think I need some help.
Thank you very much.
Cindy Cartier, Council on Aging Director.
Illustrious leader.
Okay.
So, review of the meeting minutes. I'd accept a motion to approve.
We can't close it, Ken. I'll leave it open. Thanks. That's good.
Crack's fine, thank you.
Motion to accept meeting minutes. Oh, second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. With the chairperson's report, I report that I have been traveling most of the last month, and so I've done very little. Spent 20 days away from home and made it back for the town meeting, and that's about the only time I've spent in this state.
But it was a pretty big event that you did do for us, so.
Oh,
Yes.
town meeting, right.
So as far as an update on, most of that's going to come from Cindy. The update on the town meeting is that we missed by 10 votes getting the approval for the funding to build the standalone building, or to hire the architect to really vet out the work that we have done. So what that means for the project at this point is that we will move into discussion with the select board about a combined facility, because that is where their interest lies. I've been talking to the architect, Jeff Shaw, who did some of the preliminary work for Town Hall when the building was going to be sited over at High Road. And he has some drawings and program work from that for Town Hall. I can see there's a question there.
Joint building with whom?
Town Hall.
COA and Town.
Okay. Thank you.
And so I've been talking with Bill DeMayo, which is why I was a little late getting in today, because he was walking across the parking lot and I accosted him on my way in. But the current thinking is to review the drawings that have been done by Context. The COA has already started looking at them. It's going to be circulated to members of Town Hall to see if any of the needs have changed. And then the question will be, do we simply ask him to cite that on the KOA, or do we ask him to do a assessment of the different properties similar to what the ad hoc committee had done? And I, having worked a project through the town in the past, think it is better to have the architect sort of redo the work that we did, because, you know, even after 3 years of site selection for the police station, people still showed up at every meeting throwing out new sites, some of which were entirely impossible and some of which were only really bad. So having a professional vet the work that we did, I think, is valuable, but it carries more cost, and so that's going to be further discussions. So that's where we have landed at this point. As I said, town meeting was much more supportive than I had expected it to be. We were down by 10 votes. That means if I had changed 6 people's minds, we would have been there. And FinCom had voted against it unanimously, which I think made it very hard burden to lift. But I'm encouraged that we got as far as we did. And I think with the select board combined facility, it will be more money in the end, but I think there's also more people pulling for it at that point. But I encourage everyone to keep talking about it, reaching out to people. We may have a special town meeting to discuss it, and at that town meeting, we need to pack it as best we can.
I'm not sure if I can interject, but quick question. Why was the financial committee, when all the selectmen were for it, why was the financial committee against it? Did they ever give a reason?
The reason that they gave is
All of
that,
them unanimously said no.
yes, I had sadly not been able to attend that FinCom meeting, but their reasoning was both short-sighted and long-sighted. They said that they were against it because they knew we had a lot of capital expenses coming down the line and they wanted to look at them all together. What they didn't realize is that if we started down the road with a contract with Context Architect or anyone else, it could be amended to incorporate the other projects that we have to look at. And so getting started now is always better for these long-term
makes
projects.
sense. No, absolutely right. It just, why did one half say yes and the other half said no?
Yeah, it was because they wanted to look at all the projects together.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
Were they, did they have to come out and say what they did?
The decision that they made.
Yeah, is that like blew a lot of people's minds?
Don't they have to have a rationale when they present it? So,
Well, they had presented before that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by the vehemence of Erica's position.
Yeah, I was too.
And, you know, I know her on a personal level, and I wish she had reached out to me and
Yeah.
could have talked a little bit first, but I think, you know, like I said, they're doing that, they're committed to this long-term plan for the town, and
That is capital planning part of the
Yeah.
next one? Okay.
I think that is a very good thing. That
Oh, yeah.
we really should be looking long-term at those long-term expenses and planning for them. I just wish we'd been able to facilitate a few conversations first. But all that said, you know, it was 10 votes, it was very close, there's a lot of support for the project, and we need to keep garnering and building that support. And, you know, as I said, when we started this process, before the ad hoc committee was even formed, we know that building structures in Newbury takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So it's going to be a long haul, but I think we have made impressive strides in that direction. I think that about covers that. Is there anything I missed? So we will go to COA member attendance. So we used to have as a regular part of our meeting what events people had attended, how they enjoyed them, and if they were able to bring people to them. I wanted to bring that back because, again, visibility is going to be important, and getting people to events is very important for us as we move forward. And I'll start. I was a complete failure at attending events this past month because I wasn't. Who would like to go next? We'll go clockwise or counterclockwise?
Okay, I'll go because I really feel very strongly about the COA, having been involved for at least 13 years, and I really feel committed. So I have attended a lot of the functions you have. I take my exercise lessons at the Manta Field. I've started teaching Spanish here, so I've done them all, and, okay, so you're next.
I just am a regular visitor to this house, and they've gone to the luncheons and each and every time to sit with folks and gather the information and
And really, what I wanted to say is a lot of us, it's not for the food and the meal, we don't eat a meal. What I think is the most important aspect is the social aspect of the aging people, of which I am one too. And we're all going to be there. And the social aspect is more important than anything, and that's really.
and the conversation, much of the conversation had to do with this.
Yes, yes.
And I sat in the nosebleed stands, you know, dead ahead, dead center. There were a lot of these folks missing at the high school.
So if I could just speak to that.
Mhm.
One thing that was brought to my attention was a Tuesday evening,
7 p.m.
when it's dark out, when you leave, is an obstacle for several seniors to be able to get to a meeting.
Well, LED lights and cars oncoming, it's impossible.
Right, and if it's raining, it makes it even worse. So there was some hesitation on the part of some folks to go to a meeting that they would have to drive home at night. So I don't know if offering the van for transportation is, I don't know if the optics of that are poor because, oh, the COA is, you know, busing people in, or if we look at doing a meeting on a Saturday afternoon. You know, does that make it more amenable for seniors to be able to attend the meeting? I know that is then, you know, parents with kids in sports on Saturdays, that becomes an obstacle for them. But is there a time sort of in between the sports seasons and, you know, whatnot, that we could try and find something that would work a little bit better? But that was definitely an obstacle for some
No,
folks.
absolutely.
Others, I heard several things, medical appointments or, you know, other different things that have held people back from being able to attend.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of the stakeholders in this village at 7 o'clock are looking at red rubies on Route 1 and 128,
I don't know
Yes.
what that means.
coming home,
They're still in traffic.
community.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering what the red movies were. Now I get it.
It's just, and it's difficult to get to.
You're never going to please everybody, you know, in terms of meeting time and day, but, you know, there's just some thoughts.
I think part of the problem this year too was that the agenda was really long. I think there were, what, 28?
Yes.
28 articles on
A
the.
lot of warrants.
So it's late.
warrants. So I felt like, oh boy, this is going to be really overwhelming. I went to the meeting, I did not stay to the bitter end of it.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, we have the same problem in Ipswich,
Yeah.
where you don't have parents of young children.
Right.
And that's
Yes.
a huge constituency because of the schools.
Yep.
Well, we offered babysitting.
And we don't
Which was
have,
good.
that's nice.
Yeah.
We don't have the elderly. I mean, there's a big push to try to get people to watch it on our local cable station and be able to vote doing that, or have it on Saturdays. But it's a perennial discussion that never gets.
Yeah, I mean, in my own town, we did, during COVID, we had a Saturday afternoon town meeting under a big tent on the soccer field in the town common. It was, you know,
Yeah, that's what it is.
but that was COVID, so,
I do think offering the van is a good idea, because I heard that as well. I understand you were one of the bigger items to be voted on, so it does sort of look like it, but if you offer it all the time,
right,
it can't be viewed as that, because this is something we do anyway.
right.
I mean, we do it for voting.
I used to, I
Yeah.
don't do it anymore for voting,
Oh,
just
you
because
don't?
I never, so the couple
Okay.
of 2 or 3 years that I offered the van
Okay.
for the elections, nobody ever took us up on it. So it was me having to
Wow.
schedule the driver, it was me having to schedule, I think there was one time that they were out shopping
Yep.
and they said, hey, can you swing by, I need to vote. But it was sort of off the cuff, it wasn't something that,
You know, it's a 10-hour swing, but this one's one
Yeah.
quick 2 hours in one spot.
Well, I think, let's put the discussion of the van for town meetings on the agenda.
okay,
And then we can have a formal discussion about it. We're getting into a violation of open meeting law if we get into debate about an idea today, because it's not on the agenda.
so do you want that on the next agenda?
I would like that on the next agenda, please.
Got it.
So to return to what is on the agenda, Janine?
I forgot everything I did, but I continued I continued to visit with my person that I volunteered to visit with. I do that weekly.
Yep.
That's the volunteer lunch. I don't remember everything I did, to
We
be
need
honest.
volunteers for our big events, holiday events and whatnot. She's a go-to for us for those bigger,
Bigger meals,
bigger events that we have.
Yeah, and there's the veterans coming up.
Yes, that's this week.
Yeah. So,
Very good.
And you actually help out at some of these meetings, you
Yes,
know?
yeah.
Serve school?
yeah,
Yeah?
Yep.
yeah. Keeps me busy and out of trouble.
Are you still at the library as well?
Yes, I still volunteer at the library, yeah.
Susan?
I have just been on straight, so I wasn't able to do anything.
I can empathize.
I know.
Sometimes that's
So, and as you know, my term's up in June, so I'm just gonna step down for a while. I just feel overwhelmed with everything that's going on, so.
That actually is a good reminder that if people know people who'd like to potentially serve on the council, we are going to need some new members.
So that's actually why I invited Joe to come here today, to just get an idea of what our meetings are like and what we talk about. He may be interested in joining us. So.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, well, you know, my wife Tina is here a lot. She does a lot of the volunteering. And even though I don't want to believe I'm a senior, I'm a senior.
I know.
I'm stuck, I'm
We
a
know.
26-year-old stuck in a 63-year-old body. But, you know, age is a state of mind. But no, I feel very passionate about the Council of Aging, any Council of Aging, because now I am part of the majority, what it is, the majority. I've been to this, I've seen the goodness that a lot of these places do. You know, I hate to go say Newburyport, but they are, you know, they set a kind of gold standard with what they have and all that, but they have a lot to offer with their building and their programs, and there's nothing that I feel that we couldn't achieve here too. We have a lot of people, we have a lot of seniors, and you talk about 10 votes, I could name 20 people in my neighborhood who are my age, who were not at that meeting, who aren't made aware of the Council of Aging. Who don't understand it, don't know it, maybe no one wants to get old, but we all are gonna be that way one day. So I feel like, you know, I wanna be an advocate, help, and, you know, get out there and tell those 20 people, why weren't you at the meeting last week? I can, maybe 30, you know?
Yeah.
That, you know,
I know people that
a
said,
lot
oh,
of people, we could have
come
made that easily, to think there was only 200. It's sad that out of a town of 5,500 people, only 280 people voted. And that's, I mean, that's probably gonna be one of your big dilemmas, and everywhere, no one, get out to vote.
7% of the, because I work the voting, and
Oh, yeah.
7% of the town voted.
Yeah, we had
That's
450 out of 12,000 registered
Yeah.
voters.
Yeah, it's
Sad.
why, but everyone's the first one to come, you know, to your, everyone will tell you what their idea is, but no one will show up and vote.
So just to speak to that, I did speak with Town Administrator Tracy Blaze about how we can be better about public relations on this piece. So I'll be working with her and the public relations group that they have here in town. I tend to forget that they have that and do things on my own. I have a good rapport with the editor of the newspaper and the reporter and the photographer that they use. So I generally just tend to reach out to them and say, hey, we have an event, or hey, we have something coming up. And there was an article in the paper about town meeting, and Tracy did mention the COA piece of it, but we're going to work on, and I did put stuff on that paper that you're showing, I did put that on our Facebook page. I myself am not a social media user, so I know not everybody is, and that's not maybe where they're going to get information. But it's just one more venue I'm trying to use, but I will be working with.
You know, we had a meeting in the Lower Green last night. There were probably roughly 20 people, 22 people there. And there were about 4 of these on the table, and it was a big part of the discussion, asking questions of myself, because I knew I was on the ad hoc committee, and it came down to attendance, it came down to the right mix of people voting, but also there was a lot of discussion, and what I heard most, and I didn't have the temerity to challenge, it wasn't my place, that, you know, the young lady who stood up indicated the 7-0 vote. It's hard when a town is pressed for revenue to spend anything but on bricks and mortar. To spend it on speculative thought process and design.
I think
It's tough.
But you can't do the bricks and mortar without the.
Without
Yeah,
that.
that's
without the
correct.
feasibility,
Right.
and I know that, I think it was in the paper that the town of Salisbury had needed 125 for a quorum, and they couldn't find them, you know? They had solved that. But, yes, the gold example is Newburyport, but I always keep in mind it's a city,
Mhm.
and it has a lot more available.
And it has a massive commercial base.
And a
But-
huge commercial base, yes.
To your point too, when they did not have that building, they were much smaller.
Yeah.
They got a
Yeah.
building and they had space to
Well,
be
yeah,
able
but
to
I
have programs.
think, honestly, if living in this town for 35, 40 years, town's gonna do a better job to tell people. Putting a sign next to one day water mitigation, you can't water your lawns, turn it around. Okay, vote today.
Yeah.
There's one sign, they just flip it over.
I think
There's
they were looking at,
nothing, this town doesn't do anything to get out of it.
I forget what they call it, but the town, Ipswich has it, if you ever go by the high school, middle school, it's illuminated and it tells
Electronic
you,
sign.
an electronic sign that
People don't even know there's a vote.
you know, that would draw more attention than what we have.
Well, it was posted on High Road, it was posted up here in Battlefield.
By the fire station.
By the fire, so I mean, it is out there, but do people pay attention?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, like in my town, everyone is mailed a copy of the warrant. They don't do that here, and I understand it's an
They used to.
expense. It's an expense,
They used
and I
to.
understand that. But if you didn't know, you got that big booklet in the mail, you're like, oh.
But
town
we do
meeting's
mail to
coming.
the council of aging.
Yes.
Well, I always have a copy of it here. We
No,
got-
but you have a mailing all the time.
I do. I actually did put information that the town meeting was coming up.
Right.
I did not put in particularly about, it was a broad, town meeting is coming up and the town election.
Yeah.
Just to let people know sort of who, what, where, when. And people said to me, oh, I didn't know there was a town meeting, and I said it was in the newsletter. So,
And
and you have to read it,
I was gonna say, that's part of
that's
this,
the key.
yeah.
I
And it's
think
fun.
we could put something extra on the agenda for the next meeting. I think I'm threadbare with this recommendation to you in the past, is that mailer should go out to every resident. in the
So that's an
town.
expense for me though. But
Understood.
I do want to speak to when I started here 5 years ago, I asked the town clerk for a mailing list of people 60 plus. So now I'm 5 years in. I'm going to update that mailing list to capture that, younger group.
Should be under group because it, cohesion with their receiving it is they have elder parents coming into the works and
Right,
they should
but
be aware of what's available.
I just need you to understand too,
Yeah, understood.
the amount of time and energy and effort it takes the expense that I have to print these,
Yeah.
stuff everything, fold them, seal them, have the labels made, bring everything to the post office. That's me and the staff here doing that. We do have volunteers who help us fold and whatnot. But doubling our mailing list would be kind of crushing
Yeah,
for
and
us.
I wonder if younger people will look at council on aging, it's got nothing to do with me.
Well, half of
Roll
the
out.
seniors that I send it to, I can't
Exactly,
do that.
so.
Yeah.
Well, I
So-
don't know. I mean, we've been-
It's also available online,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
We've
but
lived since '78, and I was a young mother of 4 kids at home, and I remember getting something and I would say, oh, that's affordable, someday I'm gonna be there, you know.
Could I
Big
don't
deal.
know if I'm sorry, maybe I'm a step up, but in this day and age, no one mails. How about emails?
so I do have an
Can you do
email list
that
about,
legally?
I do
mean,
email
can
the
you
newsletter.
email everybody?
Mhm.
Like, I
So-
get emails for everything in the
Not
world, but I
everybody.
and then some.
Yeah.
Could speak to this for a moment. When I was one of our elected leaders, it was always the case that either people said, why are you stuffing this down my throat? Or, you didn't tell me anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to hear any more about the dam on Larkin Road. Why do you guys keep reaching out about it? And what do you mean you're gonna take the dam down?
Yeah, yeah.
You are never going to hit it just right. So, you know, Red Alert now informs you about town meeting, which is great. You know, I got a text about it.
Yeah.
I got an email about it. We can do more, but we are never going to be able to reach people who are not looking. If you don't look at your mail, you just find your bills and pay them, that mail won't help. You know, I get sometimes 1,000 emails a day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see everything, you know. I'm trying to figure out how to get an AI to help me sort my emails so I can deal with them more efficiently.
Which is-
You know,
Well, in the last election that was held, there was no one contested. They were all gonna go in.
Right, any questions? No.
Yeah, no questions, and the other thing is like, for the select board, there were 2 positions and 2 people. Bill came in first, Blanks came in second, and Matthews came in third. There were blanks,
Oh,
yeah.
you know?
It's telling. I mean, to Joe's point, maybe what you would consider would be an invitation to each household with a simple envelope, not the entire entourage. Just saying out loud, we're not able to put the entire book, but it's available online.
So we did do that. I don't know if you remember that. We put something in the tax bills.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
oh,
did a
yeah, we
one
did that.
pager,
Yeah.
and we put it in the tax bills, and I got, this is nothing from that.
Nothing.
No one saying, hey, I got this in my tax bill, you add me to your newsletter
Or
list.
maybe add it to the signs at Morgan Avenue, you know. And
I mean,
that's-
I also leave copies at the library, we leave copies at town hall's desk. We try to get it out there.
Yeah.
Again, you have to want it and look
Yes.
for it, so.
And I think, you know, part of the town's, not the council on aging, but the town's job is to communicate and work on its communication, because it is, A, you can't reach everyone, and B, for some people it's through the PTA, for some people it's through the newspaper, for some people it's through direct mail, email, and
whatever their interest.
it is a bigger job, and it is not the council on aging's job to do it all. We can reach the people that we reach, and we can try always to extend that, but we can't reach the whole town, and it's not in our purview to really do that. But I think we've gotten a little sidetracked, and I want to get on to the liaison's report.
Okay, the liaison report. What I intended to come here as, and to say that I want to say I will not do this anymore. You can appoint someone new, but we have found out that the only person who can go is you, the chair. Well, all right, I've been on there a year, and I've been listening for a year, and I've been very polite. I raised my hand up just to clarify something, but I did. I blew it. I not blew it, I emotionally had to. For months, people have been coming to me constantly how unhappy they are with the authoritarian president running everything. And this is a person, I don't know why you recommended, but this is a person who has nothing to do with the CAOA. I don't think has ever been to the CAOA to see the people. Maybe she had a meeting with you.
Yes, she has.
She doesn't come to events or.
No, she
No, I
won't.
saw her a couple times though.
She has breezed in to pick up
Pick up,
bags.
but
for
she
the-
has things up there.
She doesn't, like you, how you come and
So
volunteer here, or some other folks
Yeah.
participate in programs.
Ellen
She doesn't
Manning
do
is
that.
brand new, and she has come here and she has helped out, and she's just one person. And all the rest of them I know, like Tina and other people, are wonderful, and they're behind it. And what they're coming to me constantly is, they were afraid to talk to the director, I'm saying your names here, to the president. And the president was elected because nobody else wanted to be president. So this is someone nobody knew, and she has another friend who has now put her on, they had a meeting to revise things, and they did not invite the treasurer, but took one of her friends from the directors to formulate a new way of doing things. So finally, my sense of morality took over, and I said, I can't do this anymore, I really can't. I just can't. I feel that everyone on the heaven COA is a volunteer. volunteer, just like us, and we're all the same, and no one should be held superior or better than another. We all look at each other when we talk to each other, and that's not the feeling for the people who've been here for years and really trying and really working. And then we had another, what I did is I wrote a letter to Helen Carrick, who does a lot of work. Everyone thinks she's the president, she's not. But and I said, you know, the mission statement of the Friends is to help the COA. And they did send out one of the members that comes here all the time, and she went to a lot of buildings and shops and to get money. And it's not coming here, it's in CDs and for the people of the future. And so it just came to a head when we had, Cindy put in a request for a special cookie for St. Patrick's Day for $400. They're sitting on over $123,000. They said no. We had, you asked for a rep for the band, which is out there. And there was a lot of argument, and Ellen Manning volunteered the money from her husband, which was huge. And I think, yes, you have a great goal, but if it's not coming here and she's on bended knee, this is wrong. So my morality got ahead of me and said, okay, blow it up. And I said, what I shouldn't have done, I knew I had to resign, but now it turns out I don't have to resign because you're the only one who got. And likewise, we did not know that. And the president, the vice president, and what they realized is they have been doing things irregularly too, which Cindy helped with. And
I did,
okay.
I did send an email to let them, their plan was to have an annual meeting with the members after a board meeting, where the board would elect their officers. But how do you elect officers if you don't know you're being elected to the board? So I said you should really be having per your bylaws,
Yeah.
you should really be having your annual meeting first, where your members elect the board of directors, and then you would have your board of directors meeting, where you would then elect, the board would elect our officers. It seems that it's still the other way around. But I was reading through the bylaws. It does state that the chair of the COA and the director of the COA are ex officio members. I would really like them, and I will bring this up at the next meeting, to amend those bylaws to say, or our designee. Because if you can't make it or I can't make it, I would really like to, if Kathy could go, or if you could designate someone to go. I don't want it to be that we can't, you can go, if you're a member of the COA, you can go, but you cannot really interact in the meeting. Obviously, the chair has to recognize someone to speak.
Okay.
And that's just regular law.
And I've
So-
done that for a year.
Yeah.
And it was to the point people were coming up and telling me, I'm not gonna do this, I couldn't take it. This is a sickness this woman has. I don't know, I just listened to it all. But when I heard another member say to me, I looked, and all of a sudden, the emails I knew from the first only go to certain people. And then other certain people, no, they don't get a general email. And the names were dropped off the email list, including yours. And that's people, they don't.
How do you join the Friends of the COA?
So you join by, I usually have their membership, I think it was the previous newsletter, there was in the newsletter about the membership drive. It's $10 to join as an individual. There's also forms out front that people can join the Friends. The annual meeting will be in June. I did put that in the next edition of the newsletter. They do post it on their website, but you have to be looking for that, But we did end up getting the $400 for the cookies that I asked for. There was a lot of discussion around it.
Yeah.
But it was, we did get the money. And I do get money from them every year. I do ask at the beginning of the fiscal year for, I anticipate my needs for, I think it's 5 or 6 major events. And so I will ask for that money, but things may come up during the year. The only reason I asked for the $400 for the cookies was the initial vendor we were going to use for our favor for that event backed out on us. So we found someone else who was a home baker. She only takes cash. So I asked them for
Yep.
cash. I can't go to the town and say I need cash, it's not a bank. So, not that the Friends are a bank, but they have more of an ability to.
No, and I'm always saying this, as
Right.
a former teacher, you always say, when you have a child and a teacher, whose needs are being met? Is it the child's needs, the teacher's needs, the administration needs? And I just felt that the people who work hard there, their needs weren't being met, but more importantly, the COA. And what I said to them is, we have meetings, she's a stakeholder, the main stakeholder. She should really, she's the one who should be there. And she was dropped off of emails. I mean, we know authoritarian.
Well, I was also
doesn't work.
excused from a meeting. I was told not to
Yeah,
come to a
exactly.
meeting. So, and as an ex officio member, I shouldn't be told, don't come to this meeting, we're gonna discuss.
Oh, I was told not to come to twice. We were uninvited to meetings
So I just
because
think
they were
it's-
going to have breakout sessions. Okay. I went to a meeting we were invited to, and they had a breakout session, and I'm getting ready to leave. And I was told by the president, oh, you can join this group over here, which Tina was on because I knew her, and it was a very comfortable, meeting how to work on.
Do you have a vote as an ex officio? So you can attend, but you don't have a say. But they can recognize you so you can speak.
They usually ask me to speak. So I'll just give an update about the programs that they are funding.
Right.
To let them know either how something went or something that's coming up. Or for me to ask for funding for something. So there was the cookies, there was the Quonset hut, and there was one other thing that I had gone to them. So now they're going to work on an off-cycle funding request policy, but they had asked me to not attend that meeting. So there's a lot of people on that board that are working really hard
They're
to
awesome.
do a lot of
Awesome.
fundraising. The board before this didn't do anything.
Right. I was going to
So-
say, it's one.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it
mean,
is-
and before, I would go to them, when we started this, beginning of the fiscal year funding, I had gone to them for one thing, and they said, no, we already gave you money. So, at least there's some discussion, with this board, but they are working really hard, they're doing, their calendar raffle is in full swing right now.
They're
They'll be doing
fantastic.
their holiday boutique in November, they're
They're
working hard.
fantastic, fantastic.
They are.
And it breaks my heart. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I said, okay, I'm off of it. I won't have anything to do with it. But my sense of morality was like, I kept saying, can you, okay, and I kept encouraging them. And they're really,
Not everybody feels
they
comfortable
said to me,
speaking out.
I'm not educated. I don't have as much experience. And they were really downtrodden. And this was for months. It wasn't, and like before when we had the other friends, they inherited quite a bit of money. They put in CDs, untouchable money, and that was it. And it was get down on your knees and try to beg for something. And it was and I just said to them, I'm afraid you're developing into what we had before. And it's sad. It's really sad.
All right.
That's it. I'm done.
Well,
My turn?
your turn.
All right, so I just wanted to briefly go over things. I know you all get the newsletter and read it, but our Veterans Luncheon is this Wednesday, and then we have Traveling Chef on Thursday. Next Tuesday, we're collaborating with the library on a social security optimization program. We've done this twice before, once with the library, once on our own. It does tend to bring out more people when we collaborate with the library and hold it over there. Pickleball starts on June 9th. Tuesdays will be the beginners classes that people will need to sign up for. There'll be classes in June, July, and August. Thursdays, we are doing open play. So it's not just experienced players, we encourage the beginner players to play on those days too. We're having Delvina come back on Thursday, June 11th. We're doing a Father's Day event on Tuesday, June 16th. Animal World had to cancel this past April. We had them scheduled for during April school vacation. We'd like to open that up so that it's a multi-generational type program. He'll be back in July. I don't have the date with me right now, but the next newsletter is a June-July newsletter that went out to the printer on Friday. So we will be getting that soon to stuff and mail out. People should have it for the 1st of June.
Can I ask when the Veterans Lunch is this week, but
This
when's
Wednesday.
the next lunch after that?
So then, the next day I have Traveling Chef. the very next
Oh,
day.
that's traveling chef.
Yes, so Traveling Chef, if you look at the back of that newsletter that I handed you,
Yes.
once a month, we do a Traveling Chef meal. So those meals are always listed on the back there. That's a standard. In May, we had a Mother's Day tea. In March, we had a St. Patrick's Day event. Around the holidays, we do Thanksgiving, we do, Christmas holiday event in December. Those are sort of major events that we do. The Father's Day one is a big one that'll be coming up too. But as far as monthly meals, the Traveling Chef is.
So how many lunches do you have a month?
Definitely one each month. And then like we'll add in, so we're here late on Tuesdays, so we'll add in game night where we serve dinner and have, and play games. We started doing dinner club in lieu of game night, so some Tuesday nights it might be that we're just serving dinner, not having anything afterwards. I don't have lunches every day, we're not a meal site, we have a glorified break room over there for our kitchen, so I really can't, everything we do is catered.
And what do you expect the attendance for this?
For a Traveling Chef?
How many people attend?
Traveling Chef, we usually have about 40, 45 people.
And would it be okay if I came to that?
Sure, if you'd like to.
I would.
Yeah, sure.
Go to the veterans one's better.
You can come forward.
With a rusty can.
Oh, you're a veteran.
The Rusty Can is amazing.
Yes.
But is it just limited to veterans?
So the veterans event, we
Because
gear
it
towards,
says for.
well, we gear towards vets, but they can bring a guest. So some might bring their spouse, some might bring a friend. I would rather someone come with someone and come to the event than not come because they're afraid to come by themselves.
We had someone who brought their father, who was over 100. and
He's a veteran,
He got World War II veteran, which we're not gonna have many left. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't know if he'll be coming this time.
No.
But, yeah, the Traveling Chef is usually pretty well attended.
Sounds great to me.
They do a good job here.
Thank you.
And Rusty can donate it, right?
Yes.
So I tried to pay this time, he always donates in November for the Veterans Day event. So I said to him, we want to do it again for Memorial Day. 50 people is my max, give me a ballpark figure. He's like, it's on me. No, I'd like to pay for it. No, he says, we take care of our veterans, he's very good. So, we appreciate Mike and
He's a good man.
the people over
Yes.
there, yeah. They
And
are.
Mike did mention to Bill that I think his father is a World War II veteran too.
He's not World War II,
No,
he's a general though, he's a retired general.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's what it is, yeah.
So he'll be here.
Paul, you're looking to come to the Veterans Lunch on Wednesday?
I would love to come to
Well,
that.
why don't you talk to Kathy on the way out and see if she can patch you up?
We'll make sure that
That you come as my guest.
Well, that'd be great. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I will come to that.
Okay. That's
I'll
it.
go to both.
Great, they're noon, both of them are at noon time.
Bring your appetite.
I just want to meet the people.
Sure. I did not bring my phone, so I can't look up on the calendar the next date, if that's where we're at.
But we have new business,
Oh,
so
okay,
I don't know if there's anything else that is on people's minds. that
We'd
you'd
like them.
Yes, it's been a good meeting, good discussion. So I will reiterate that we are gonna need some new members coming up. People's terms have expired, people are stepping down. I did get an email from Joe that there's Antico, that there's some medical issues in her family, so she's going to be stepping down. So people, life gives you lemons sometimes, and you gotta press them. So,
Yep.
How many people is term is?
3 are leaving.
Okay.
That speaks to my comment about we need to reach out to the stakeholders in this village, not just the Council on Aging. Shouldn't be precursor to just aged individuals with a stake in it. It's the youngsters emerging who help volunteer and manage the town.
Yeah, that was something that, what's her name, finance. Erica did a good job speaking about that at town meeting. Too bad there weren't enough people to hear it, but I thought what she said was very good,
And I know individually, in the select board, I know that they go out of there, talk to younger people in
Yeah,
town,
right.
because we need young blood everywhere.
When you look at a lot of these boards and committees, it's the same people serving.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And back to the election, he got Keith Turner, but no one ran against him, but he's the arborist in another meeting, and then I think someone else out there, young people.
Yeah.
Could I ask, before you close, could I ask one question about funding?
Funding, sure.
Funding, so, I've talked to the Ipswich folks about this. So how much of your budget comes from the Mass, Council on Aging? How much of it comes from the town, and how much of it comes from the Friends?
Most of it comes from the town, so that pays all of my salaries and wages for 3 staff members here. I have 2 other staff members that I use our formula grant funding, which comes from the state. The formula grant funding pays for our van driver and our Meals on Wheels driver salaries. And
Is
then
that the Mass Council on Aging, or is it a different,
different funding. I don't get funding from the Mass Council on Aging. They advocate to the state for the formula grant.
Okay.
So the formula grant pays for those 2 salaries and then for our bulk postage permit and mailings. And then I reach out to the Friends to fund 5 to 6 major events a year. So that's all inclusive of catering, entertainment, all the incidentals that go along with, say, our St. Patrick's Day event or our holiday event.
Excuse me, would like to say anyone can donate to the COA directly also, that would be accepted.
Yep.
Because I know with us, especially with the vulnerable, we always donated directly and wrote just to.
So I do get a lot
I know it would
of
be
donations
voted.
throughout the year too.
So your total budget is what, 150,000, less than that?
More.
200?
Yeah, I can give
I
you a
think
number.
that's a discussion for after this meeting.
Yeah.
Of course. Be happy to, thank you.
Yeah, I don't mean to shut you down, but it's not on the agenda, and so
Yeah.
we shouldn't be violating open meeting law. The next meeting date we have to set a meeting for June. I'm again traveling for work for the middle of the month, so I can be here June 8th or June 29th. Are there any preferences or needs?
Or do we need to have a June meeting?
I
Do you want a June meeting?
I think we probably will need to have one.
So then maybe sooner would be better.
Either one is okay with me, I'll be gone in between that.
Okay, so let's plan for June 8th at 9, if I could get a motion to that effect.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
June 9th, next meeting.
June 8th.
June, oh,
I
thank
did
you.
say 8th, but I'll double check it.
It is Monday.
Monday the 8th.
Yeah.
At 9.
At 9.
So,
Okay, so
That is all right. And with that settled, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you all very much.